What can you do to improve your financial wellness? And what steps can we take to understand our options for investing? Hi, I'm Elizabeth Naumovski, host of Finances Personal. Now, when we grow up, we're told to go to school to get really good grades, and those good grades will get us into the best universities and colleges. And we study hard to get better grades to graduate at the top of our class, which enables us to land that high-paying job. So now that we land the job of a lifetime, what does that mean? So what? We're never told what to do with our money once we start to earn it. So what are our financial options? What about investing? What about risk or debt? Today's topic is about understanding female investor behaviors. Are they different than men's? After all, money is not gender biased, and it's just that, it's money. But there really is a difference, and we'll learn all about that today. Today, I'm joined by Tuula Jalasjaa, a banking and wealth management executive and founder of the Women's Collection, which is a financial literacy portal which is designed for women. And I am actually one of the contributors. So welcome, Tuula.
Thank you, Elizabeth. My pleasure to be here.
So this whole episode is about understanding female behavior when it comes to investing. So do you want to talk about that?
One of my favorite topics, because fundamentally female investors are so different than men. And I think a lot of women don't even know that they're different. So it's important to uncover some of those differences and how that affects how they're working with a financial planner or an advisor. I think it boils down to three things. One, women are more goal-based than men. Men tend to be more a little transactional. Contrary to the common view that women are more risk averse, that's actually not true. They just need information presented in a different way in order to be able to make an informed decision. And third, I would also say that although men do care about socially responsible investing, women care even more. Return is important, but they also want to have an impact on society and other sustainable type goals. So those are the fundamental differences that I see that then drive the educational process.
I think we want to make that change because we are natural caregivers and we want to make sure that we give back to society, the environment. You know, we're big on mentorship. So I think that's probably one of the reasons why we care about that.
We do. And I think as women, though, we worry about everything. We worry about, will I have enough for my future? I don't want my kids to have to support me. So it's even more important for women to have a strong financial plan that accommodates all those different things they're thinking about. So it's not creating stress for them. They have some financial peace.
And I think one of the reasons why we stress so much is because we make less money than men do. Our entire work structure has always been up and down. When you look at a man's career, he starts and he just keeps going up. There's a huge trajectory for him. And women stay home to have children, then they stay home to take care of somebody or whatever. So we make less. Our careers are disrupted, and we live longer. So we have a lot to worry about.
Right. Correct. So that's why I always come back to the fundamental point of having a financial plan that addresses those ebbs and flows in time, that you're planning for when you're going to be off, and then maybe you're saving more when you're back in the workforce. And certainly knowing that there's a longer life trajectory, how is that money going to be managed in according to that? So it's really important to have a customized plan for women that, again, takes all those things into account.
So other than empowerment, why is it really important for women to be more financially knowledgeable?
So yes, empowerment's important. We all want to feel empowered, that we're confident and we can look after ourselves. But ultimately, it connects back to financial health, which connects to your physical health and stress. So I think the more I see women that have a plan, they know that they're investing, they know that they're saving, and they're on track to meet their goals, they are physically and mentally more at peace. So I think that's a really, really important thing. And stats I'm seeing out there right now, women are really suffering on the financial wellness scale. And again, for these reasons, exactly, so many things to worry about, not having the time. I often hear women say, I don't have enough time to do the plan. How am I going to get started with an advisor? I don't know where to go. I don't have the time. And we don't make the time. We put these things at the bottom of our list. We tend to everybody else instead of saying that is important. My financial wellness is just as important as everything else.
But it's not fun. And that's the thing. I mean, we make appointments for hair, for nails, vacations, restaurants, but finance is not fun, right?
It
Because
can be fun, though.
a lot of
I
people,
find it fun.
well, we do, but a lot of people think, oh my God, it's numbers and numbers are intimidating. So, what are positive and negative impacts of life events that'll totally change a woman's financial plan?
So I could kind of look at life events that affect a plan, anything that changes your needs to be able to save, or if you actually maybe have to take money out from your savings to accommodate it. So a positive event that I would cite would be having a baby. That's always a good thing. You're welcoming someone new to your family, but you may also want to start saving for their education to take advantage of some of the benefits with the educational savings funds. So that would be a positive thing that you want to plan for. Now, conversely, on the negative side, what if you fall sick and you're unable to work for a period of time? And I would hope that you would have good insurance in place, but often people don't. So that could be another issue. But then when you get back working again, you're going to maybe want to double up on how you're investing. And I really think knowing about those things or just being prepared for it. People always say, what's your little nest egg? Having 6 months to be able to live on that in case you fall ill. That's sort of a rule of thumb. But those are the types of things you have to be prepared for.
So, for a woman who actually hasn't prepared for her future or anything, what can she do to improve her financial wellness? How can she begin?
So it's all about education. And that's really why we started the Women's Collection, was to be able to have all the education and tools and resources in one place and free of charge, because we want to empower women, not just in Canada, but globally. So it's really about starting with some key components around, how to pick a financial advisor. When is a financial advisor important or suitable for you? What are the types of different investing out there? There's robo platforms, there's stuff you do yourself. Those resources are there to show you the pros and cons. And of course, there's pros and cons to all of them. But what matches up with you? Do you want to be very involved in the investing? Would you rather someone just take it off your hands? Do you want someone that, always includes planning and insurance? So going through those resources and starting to see the kinds of things that you should be starting with. Another great starting point I often recommend to people is think about everything you have. Do your net worth calculation. There's lots of tools. We have lots of them on our site. What do you have? What debt do you have? And at least start to build out a picture, because you'd be surprised at how many women they have stuff in different places and they forgot about it. So it's important to have that view, and then give some thought to some goals, some financial goals, and then kind of do the education. The big thing that I recommend to people is carve out 1 hour a week, put a meeting with yourself in your calendar, hold yourself accountable. When that meeting pops up, treat it like a meeting at work or a date with your spouse. Don't cancel it.
Workout.
Yes, whatever. We do that. We put our workouts in our calendar. So why can't we carve out time for ourselves to focus on our financial literacy? And the other thing I like is have someone hold you accountable. Speak to a friend when you're embarking on this journey to say, you know what, I'm going to get more financially literate. I really want to get my finances in order. I want to create a plan, and have them check in on you. And when they're going to call, you're like, as women, we go, oh no, I better get that done. So have some tools like that really keep you committed to that financial plan and financial literacy journey.
So I'm a huge advocate for professional help. This is what I advocate for all the time. I think we try to do too much on our own, and there's so many professionals out there that can really, really help us out. So how does someone go about choosing a financial advisor for themselves?
Great question. I'll actually start by saying, I totally support having a financial advisor. People will say to me, well, you must manage your own money. You're considered an expert in the field. I have the degrees. I have the knowledge. I said, absolutely not. I don't have time to do it. You have to. It's a full-time job for people. All the things you have got to be watching for and researching. And so let a professional do it. Now you get to inform the professional in terms of, here are my goals. Here's my risk I'm willing to take. You have that discussion with them. But then they can take care of it from there. So I think that's really important to note, that it doesn't mean that, again, even some professionals I know that are in the field don't do their own investing because it takes time. So again, research the types of advisors that are out there. So there's tons of them, all different kinds. It can be confusing. They have different designations. So again, some of the tools and resources that explain the limitations some of them might have. For example, they may only be able to do mutual funds. Are they, how are they regulated? All that information is there and accessible. And then from there, you'll get a sense of, okay, this is the kind of advisor I'd like. And so then you can start asking friends. You can, research it again, depending on whether it's a bank owned or not, and maybe pick 3 people you interview. Don't just settle on the first one. You want to connect with them also. So I think it's understanding the types of advisors, what's right for you, and then, interviewing a few different ones to see who you really connect with emotionally, because that's uber important as well.
But Tuula, I read this article today that said the majority of people right now are engaging with robo advisors because they feel that financial professionals are way too expensive.
So I've seen a few of those articles in the past, and I do think robo advice is good for some people or as a segment of their portfolio. But I think people still don't understand what fees should you be paying. What is expensive? What value are you getting? So again, having the education and teaching yourself, what should I be paying a financial advisor and what should they be doing for that amount? So, the robo platforms are great, but you're not going to get an intensive holistic financial plan that's checking in with you and making sure your goals are on track. They're not going to identify insurance that you may be needing. So I think that human component is really important to make sure that you're looking at your financial health holistically.
See, I agree with you because I like to talk to people. I've called you up before and asked you questions. I've called up different girlfriends before to ask questions. And I think that's one of the key things that I know that I need to bounce ideas off of people. And it's so much easier that if you're speaking to a professional, you can ask questions and get them answered. And that's why I do this show. I like to ask the questions and get them answered.
So Elizabeth, just on that note, and women do, again, fundamentally, we're talking about how they're different than men. Men honestly will come into an advisor and say, I want to have $10 million in 10 years. Where the women, they really want to connect and talk about their family and their goals and all of those types of things that are important to them. They want to have a conversation and make sure that someone is really hearing them and actioning them and listening to what their preferences.
And I think that's one of the key things that you just said. We want to be heard, but we want to be heard correctly. Not, you tell people what you want and it's like, yeah, we'll just do it this way. We want to be heard. So if we want to get heard or we want to be heard, how do we go about creating our own actionable plan so that we can actually start investing?
So again, start with education. Look at just some of the key components around what does a financial plan look like? What are the components in it? Start giving some thought to it on your own and just what you want to achieve. Sometimes it's good just to have your own session. And then when you meet with a financial advisor, you've already thought about some things that are important to you. You're not just doing it off the cuff. So I think having that sense of what you want to achieve in your life and some of your legacy concerns as well. I know women are definitely concerned about the legacy for their children. So having a sense of what you really want to achieve, I think is the most important starting point. And then working with a financial advisor that does financial plans. I will tell you, they all should be doing financial plans, but I know that a lot of them aren't, and that's just not the way they should be working with their clients. You really need an actionable plan that fits for you, and that is, it can be changed depending on circumstances, but you have someone watching out for you and making sure your best interests are being taken care of.
I've had somebody comment to me, I know you're a huge financial literacy advocate, as am I, but I've had somebody say to me, I watch your shows and they're for rich people and you really have to dumb them down for people that aren't rich. And I don't agree with this. What would you say to that individual?
So it's a great question. And one of the examples I often use, you do not know how to price a bond. You don't need to know those things. Those are for the specialists in the background You really just need to understand the fundamentals, how a portfolio is built, how markets work. Again, how to pick an advisor, what should I be paying? All of those fundamentals are what's really important, that you also know what questions to ask. So a lot of women often sit in meetings with financial advisors and they don't ask questions. And I'll tell you, they don't want to sound stupid. So I constantly tell women, there is no question that's stupid when it comes to financials. It can be challenging. It can be, very complex. You have to ask. If you don't understand something, ask your advisor, ask a friend, and don't be afraid to speak up. So I think that's where we can help the situation as well. We have to say, you know what, I don't know this and I'm going to learn it, and ask the questions. There are no dumb questions.
I agree. My mother always said, if you don't ask, you don't know. So in closing, what words of wisdom would you give a young woman out there? I speak to a lot of university students, a lot of young women in financial courses. And the major question that they keep asking me is, how do I get a voice? And I want to feel empowered in the boardroom. But I also say to them, it's important to feel empowered in your personal life as well, especially if you're living somewhere and, you've got somebody coming in to give you a quote. You need to be empowered as well so that, nobody, overquotes you. So what words of wisdom would you give to a young woman?
So first, I would say just in general, again, it's education. There's no reason why someone can't come to fix something that we can't look up online and figure out. We've got so many resources out there right now. So if we educate ourselves on any given subject, we are empowered. We are empowered to make a decision on our own. So, and when it comes to finances, I think for young women, it's never too early to start and it's never too late to start. So the idea is you're only putting away $50 a month, but you're starting to see that, the compounding, and you're starting to see your money at work. And same thing with, I meet a lot of women that are in their 40s or 50s and they say, well, I haven't started now I'm embarrassed. Like, I don't know where to start. Just start somewhere, start with the education and ask some experts to support you on it. But I think it's just really important that we don't deflect important decisions. Women traditionally are saying, I'll do the budgeting and I'll take care of the kids in the house, and anything important that happens to be around investing, I'll give it to my spouse. Well, we can't do that anymore. We have to be at the table, equally engaged, equally involved. These are joint financial decisions that affect your entire family. So that's my big suggestion is make sure you're always at the table and that you have a voice.
And just start.
Just start.
Thank you so much, Tuula.
My pleasure. Look forward to seeing you sometime soon.
I know, me too. Hopefully when the lockdown is over, we can sit on a patio and have a nice glass of wine.
That would be wonderful. I look forward to that.
All right, you take care.
Okay, take care. All right, bye.
The reason why I started Finances Personal is because too many women in Canada retire in poverty. In October 2019, Statistics Canada said that for every dollar a man makes, a woman makes 87 cents. We have a very disrupted career cycle and we live longer than men. So we need to live and survive on less money for a longer period of time. Ladies, there are so many organizations, websites, blogs, and financial professionals to help us learn about saving, getting out of debt, investing, and empowering. Reach out and learn as much as you can and live your life to the fullest. Now, if you like this video, click like. Please read the disclaimer in my YouTube description because it really is important. And please look out for my next episode and remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel. You'll automatically get a new video and you won't have to worry about missing another episode of Finances Personal. And follow me on Twitter @Naumovski. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.